Good evening. Thank you. Please. Thank you. Thank you very much for that introduction and leadership on this issue, a very important issue, the issue of AI and how it's really becoming something that we need to be concerned about and something that we need to think about regulating. So we're going to talk about that today. But before I begin, I want to explain why I was delayed just a few minutes. I just spoken with President Finn of the United States of United Auto Workers. Let me say a few words about the UAW and the big three automakers, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis. They have reached a historic agreement and a hard fought agreement that was really battled for a while. But it's all done now in good faith. These record agreements reward all workers who gave up much to keep the industry working and going during the financial crisis more than a decade ago. These agreements ensure the iconic Big Three can still lead the world in quality and innovation due to the commitment and solidarity of the UAW workers willing to exercise their right to their collective bargaining. They won a record contract with over a 30% increase in wages, greater retirement security, and more paid leave, and a commitment by the Big Three to create more full time middle class jobs and invest tens of billions of dollars in plants and factories building automobiles here in the United States. Think about that, tens of billions of dollars invested here in the United States. I applaud the UAW and the leaders of the automobile companies for agreeing that all the workers on strike and all those walking the picket lines on behalf of the UAW brothers and sisters can come back to work immediately, even before the vote is taken. Ultimately, the final word on the contract will be, of course, obviously with the union, the UAW membership themselves, in the days and coming weeks as they vote. But here's what I know, and what I shared with United Auto Workers when I met with them a few weeks ago. I've always believed in the middle class, and I've always believed that the hard-working American is the one who actually has built what we call the United States of America. And in the case of United Auto Workers, who built the iconic automobile industry for too long, in my view, the economy hasn't worked for hardworking people and for middle class folks. Because when do they? Well, and by the way, everybody does well, but that's why I came into this office here determined to build an economy that works for every American. It's a critical piece of worker power, and it's showing how collective bargaining works by providing workers a seat to the table to honor their contributions to their employees. Their employer's success by securing pay and benefits. They can raise a family on and retire with dignity and respect. It's showing how collective bargaining works for companies, how a strong relationship between workers and management can mean record profits, leading to record contracts. We're also seeing that across the board. For the UAW workers, we're seeing this everywhere. Rail workers, port workers, teamsters, writers, health workers, and workers in other industries organizing and by collective bargaining. Look what's happening today. This agreement is yet another piece of good economic news showing something we've always believed: worker power. It's critical to building an economy that I have always said we can build in this country and that it can work for everyone in this country. Also, I just learned that our economy grew 4.9% in the last quarter, the highest growth in 2 years, 4.9%. Just as inflation continues to come down, we have more to do, but we're finally beginning to build an economy that works for every person in this country. And it works for the middle class, for the entire company, for the entire country, including the companies, because when we do that, the poor have a ladder up, the middle class does well, and the wealthy stay well. do well. They stay very well anyway, but it works for everybody. We have a success ladder for everybody in this country. And that's what brings me to today's announcement. I want to thank all of you for joining us here. Some of you members of my cabinet, members of Congress, I know there's a few of you out there today. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Chuck, where are you? It's been a great leader in this. Chuck, I want to thank you and for all you've done, and local officials, leaders in technology, business, labor, academia, civil rights, and social and civil society. That's easy for you to say, or for me to say too. And we'll see more technical as well. I know you know this is, but we're going to see more technology change in the next 10, maybe 20 years than we've seen in the last 50 years. And that's a fact. And it's the most consequential technology of our time. Artificial intelligence is accelerating that change. It's going to accelerate it at warp speed. AI is all around us. Much of us is making our lives better. And AI is helping the National Weather Service predict weather events, helping the Webb Space Telescope manage 500,000 miles of galaxies away, billions of light years away. And AI is helping millions of commuters find the shortest route home as well. You think about that. AI, you put your phone up on the dashboard of your car and you're getting a, well, let's say you know where you live obviously, but you're getting a routing to home and you want the quickest way. AI will tell you. AI actually will tell you where flooded streets are. AI will tell you where there's slow traffic. I know in my hometown of Dallas, we have this area called the Canyon. And always you can pull up your map and you can see the little strip of red there, the canyon, and it's point on every time. But in some cases, other than making the trip to the canyon easier, AI is making life worse. For example, uh, using teenagers' personal data to figure out what will keep them glued to a device. AI makes social media more addictive. Not that it's already addictive anyway. It's causing what our Surgeon General calls a profound risk of harm to their mental health and well-being. Over the past years, I have met with a range of experts, many of whom are here today, and I thank you for coming here today on the risk and the incredible opportunities of AI. One thing is clear: to realize the promise of AI and avoid risk, we need to govern this technology. Not, and there's no other way around it. In my view, it must be governed. That's why we're here today. I'm about to sign an executive order that is the most significant action any government anywhere in the world has taken on AI safety, security, and trust. This order builds on the critical steps we've already taken to ensuring the AI Bill of Rights to bring together leading AI companies who've agreed to voluntarily make certain commitments to make sure AI is safe, the system is secure. With today's executive order I'll soon be signing, I'm determined to do everything in my power to promote and demand responsible innovation. First, the executive order is about AI safety and security. Today, I'm invoking what's called the Defense Production Act that federal government uses in the most urgent of moments, like mobilizing the nation during a once in a pandemic, a war, or developing COVID vaccines. During the pandemic, this executive order will use the same authority to make companies prove that their most powerful systems are safe before allowing them to be used. I want to Before allowing them to be used. That means companies must tell the government about large scale AI systems they're developing and share rigorous independent test results to prove they pose no national security or safety risk to the American people. At the same time, I will direct the Department of Energy to make sure AI systems don't impose chemical, biological, or nuclear risk. At the same time, look look in the wrong look in the wrong hands. AI can make it easier to for hackers to exploit vulnerabilities in software that makes our society run. That's why I'm directing the Department of Defense and the Department of Homeland Security, both of them, to develop a game changing cyber protections that will make our computers and our critical infrastructure more secure than it is today. And that's why my administration has taken decisive steps to prevent edge cutting edge AI chips from being used to undermine our national security, which is possible. Second, the order is about making sure AI systems can earn the American people's trust and people's trust around the world. All too often it's already happening that devices are being used to deceive people. Deep fakes use AI generated audio and video to smear um, reputation, spread fake news, and commit fraud. With AI fraudsters can take a 3 second, and that's all you know is 3 second recording of your voice. And I've watched a couple of these things, and it's pretty phenomenal, honestly. And I, you look at these videos, and you're like, did that person really say what he's just said? But all kidding aside, 3 second recording of your voice can and generate an impersonation good enough to fool. I was going to say your family. Fool. Swear to God, I take a look at it. And it's mind blowing, and they can use it to scam loved ones into sending money uh, because they think you're in trouble. That's wrong. Everyone has a right to know when audio they're hearing or video they're watching is generated or altered by AI. Thanks to the order we're signing today, the Department of Commerce is going to help develop standards to watermark and clearly label AI generated content. Just say this. That's how it was generated. AI generated. That's it. You can tell whether it's real, it's not, and when your loved ones hear your voice on the phone, they'll know it's really you, and it's trust that matters. It's really knowing it's really. Third, this executive order is about protecting our fundamental rights, like privacy, without safeguards. AI can put your privacy at greater risk. That's why we've called for new protections on your personal data. With this executive order, my administration is going to help develop leading edge technology to make these protections as strong as possible. Look, privacy is not the only right at risk. Without the right safeguards in place, AI can lead to discrimination, bias, and other abuses. That's why, with the help of civil rights leaders here today, this order directs several actions to protect America's civil rights and their safety. That means clear guidance for landlords, federal contractors, and federal programs to prevent the bias in AI tools used to make decisions on whether or not someone qualifies for housing or benefits or a job. Will develop the best practices for AI use to ensure fairness in the criminal justice system as well. And when appropriate, the Justice Department and the federal civil rights offices will investigate and prosecute all civil rights violations. A fourth thing this order does, it will ensure that emerging technology works for consumers and for workers. For example, to protect the patients, we'll use AI to develop cancer drugs that work better and cost less. We'll also launch a safety program to make sure AI health systems do no harm to protect workers. This order directs the government to help make sure AI isn't used to shortchange workers. I've also asked for a comprehensive report on the impact of AI on the labor market and how to help workers whose jobs have been disrupted. We're going to support workers in every industry in this country. I've always said that from the very beginning by defining their rights and defending them to a fair wage and to organize and these other things, more technologies. emerge. And finally, we're going to make sure America leads the world in innovation and attracts the top talent to stay at the cutting edge. And because AI is its challenges and opportunities, it has us both, are global. We're going to keep advancing American leadership globally in meeting around the world. I've heard from leaders, and I've been going around the world a lot lately. Really have. It's good. It's good to be back here home, and we're looking. But leaders around the world, um, they approach me, and I'm in it. In any country, they ask, "Is the United States going to show the way in AI?" Well, the United States is going to show the lead in AI. In just a few days, a vice president will be heading overseas, uh, and we'll continue to work closely with our allies and partners, including the United Nations, the G7, which just set out the first ever international code of conduct to safely guide AI development. Look, let me be clear. This executive order represents bold action, but we still need Congress to act. We need Congress to act. I just want to thank I just want to thank the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer again here. Chuck, you've been taking the reins on this issue a long time, and I appreciate everything you've done for this. Uh, you could develop legislation to harness the power of AI while keeping America safe, and I appreciate it. Tomorrow, I look forward to meeting with you and the bipartisan group that you proved to put together to bring down to the White House, underscore the need for congressional action. I'm going to continue to call on Congress to pass bipartisan legislation to stop big tech from collecting personal data on our kids and teenagers online, to ban targeting advertising to children, to limit the personal data these companies collect on us. Folks, let me close with this. We face a genuine point in history. This is a major point in history. One of those moments where the decisions we make in the very near term are going to set the course for the next decades. And with the position we lead, the world, the toughest challenges are the greatest opportunities. Look, there's no greater change that I can think of in my life than AI presents as a potential exploring universe, fighting climate change, ending cancer as we know it, and so much more. As artificial intelligence expands the boundary of human possibility and tests the bounds of human understanding, this landmark executive order is a testament to what we stand for: safety, security, trust, and openness. American leadership and the undeniable rights endowed by our Creator, that no creation can take away, proving once again America's strength. It's not just the power of its people, but the example of its power. Look, I know we can meet this moment with hope and not fear, because all of you, and I meant it sincerely, because of all of you here today, many of you are the originators of this technology and all across America. The people are focused on this. You're the reason why, and I mean this sincerely, you're the reason why I've never been more optimistic about America's future. We had to just remember who we are. And I've said this from the very beginning over 3 years ago, when this country was divided so much over a pandemic. And we're still at that point today. There's division going on in the streets of America. But we have to remember who we are. We are the United States of America. And there is nothing, nothing at all that we can't accomplish when we come together as one. When we do that, the sky is the limit. I want to thank you very much for your time. May God bless you. May God bless our troops. and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you.